Mrs Lowry Son, Vanessa Redgrave, Mrs Lowry, and Timothy Spall, son. I agree with the critics, which have been critical and enthusiastic, perhaps to say the least, about the film. Trying to remember, I think Variety was quite disappointed with the performances and the script. If not Variety, someone else there among the important critics was saying that they're not neither of the actors, the stars, actually, the stars, not Hollywood type British, but still, considering the weight, they're definitely stars on the firmament. They're not in the top form, and then the material is rather thin. That seemed to be the conclusion. It only has about 50 or so on average out of 100 meta score. They follow relevant reviews, which is to say this one doesn't count, so it doesn't matter which way we're going, but I think we're going with the crowd saying it's not impressive. Alas, this note here, irrelevant as it is, it's also subjective. Vanessa Redgrave, knowing her political views, creates a tendency to reject her work. Unfortunately, from what I gather, she's on the extreme of the left. Not Antifa. I mean, she's not. I think she's not running in the streets with a gun now, trying to kill the rich. But which is not what Antifa does. And I don't know. I understand they're more extreme, but I don't try and insult anyone here. It's just that I reject leftist, especially extreme left views, because I've been living under communism and I still pay the price. I mean, if this is flawed, it's not my fault. It's the Reds, the Russians, the communists. It's a joke, but still, they fucked up this mind and the others here. I mean, having had an abusive childhood and adolescence, as a whole, as a nation, or nations in fact, because behind the Iron Curtain situation was similar, with differences, in fact, very big differences. I mean, it was one thing to be in Hungary and quite another to be in Ceausescu's Romania. So then, having lived through this terror, you can't hope to have a mind which is unblemished, which is working perfectly, I think. It's also true that there is positive psychology around. There is this thing. There's PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but there's also post-traumatic growth. So on the other hand, well, that would have been a better outcome, to go through this and get better. Let's return a little. The son is a painter, aspiring painter. He's nice, if not a glorious individual. But the mother is overbearing. It's true that he's still living with her. He has to help her because now she's really old and she's basically trapped in bed. But she's not nice to him. She's very critical of his paintings, rejecting them. Or when she accepts one, it's because somebody else had some influence over her. And on some levels it is interesting. Timothy's power is splendid. actor. As Vanessa Redgrave was. I mean, I'm thinking of Julia now when she played against Jane Fonda. Wonderful movie and wonderful performances. Another one is Howard Zinn. She has a small part, but she was outstanding, and she had a glorious career. But then her views outside theater and cinema do have an impact. I mean, I can't say I have equal pleasure knowing this with the alternative, which would have been to know that she has decent views in politics. Well, anyway, so the film is not much more than mild entertainment, let's say.